You finally got the gig. Everyone's ready. You finally arrive at the venue, only to find out that you're in the wrong spot, plus some of the gear that you need to run the show isn't available. What are you going to do? And to begin with, why did this happen? Nightmare. Hi guys, my name is Paco Arespacochaga. I am a musician, I am a vlogger, I'm a father of 5 kids, a husband to a lovely wife. I'm also a life coach to my friends, and because you guys are here, you're my friend too. Anyway, let's talk about gig logistics. And this is very important because yes, we've found the right gig for us. We've created our set list and now we're finally here at the gig. But oh no, we forgot to bring preamps. We forgot to bring XLR cables. We're not even at the loading dock. The loading dock is all the way at building B and we forgot to bring a dolly. All these things could have been avoided if we came prepared with our logistics. If we actually asked the right questions while we were negotiating for the gig, if we were in sync with our vendors. These are very important. Now, normally, when you actually land a gig, you're supposed to submit a service agreement and a technical rider. It has to be clear who's providing front of house and who's providing your backline equipment. The front of house equipment are the audio equipment used to project your sound to the audience. The backline equipment is the equipment used by the performers in order to generate the audio needed for the front of house to project your sound to the audience. Now, drums, amplifiers, keyboards, those are all part of the backline equipment. In-ear monitors, the mixer, the mixing desk, the powered speakers, the subwoofers, the audio monitors, these are all part of your front of house equipment. Who's providing those equipment? Are you the ones responsible in bringing those equipment, or is a professional sound system like Luigi AV coming to the rescue to bring the equipment to where you are? These things have to be communicated on the onset of an agreement of doing a corporate gig, a bar show, or any type of show that requires you to actually have equipment. Now, in the Philippines, I know that it's different because venues actually provide a drum kit, front of house, basic amplifiers. However, here in the States, you're required to bring your own drum kit. You're required to bring your own amplifiers. Sometimes you're even required to bring your own PA system. Because of this, we all know that it's very, very different with regard to different venues. What if you're playing at a ballroom? What's provided? When you're playing at a venue that normally hosts bands or performers, you know you've won half the battle. What do I mean by that? Some venues don't have enough electricity to run your equipment. So it's best that before you even start setting up, talk to the in-house maintenance guy of the venue and ask them if they have 30 amperes that can actually run your equipment. Because the last thing you want is plugging all your equipment in the wall outlets only to find out that they're all interconnected and that there isn't enough power to run your sound, your board, or even your gear. That's a waste, right? So once that's covered and you know that you have enough electricity to run your gear, it's best to know where to load in. Loading in is difficult when you don't know where to park your vans or your trucks, but it's very, very advantageous if from the get-go you know where to go, you know where the load-in dock is. If you need to secure badges or if you need to surrender licenses or fill out a waiver, know that in advance. Because the last thing you want is to travel only to find out that you've parked somewhere, walked hundreds of feet, only to be pointed to a different direction. And by the time you set up, you're already tired, your mood's gone, and it's not worth your time anymore. So know this from the get-go. I cannot stress this enough, but your friends are your first roadies. Bring them along. Feed them. Give them drinks. But bring them with you. Because if you're a keyboard player and you or a guitar player or even a drummer and you accidentally clip your fingers, you're done for the day. If a speaker falls on your hands, you're done for the night. So bring your friends. They are your friends and your roadies, and trust me, they will make you look like rock stars. So bring them along. Roadies are important. They're part of the logistics. Another thing is, ask, are you going to be fed? Do you know where the nearest cafeteria is? If it's a party, What is the dress code? Are you given a table? Is the table close to the stage? How many people in your entourage are going to be fed? Are you going to be given an allowance? Money so you can buy food if you guys aren't part of the plate service of the event. These things are very important, and unless this is written down, those who hired you will assume that it's part of the talent fee that they're paying you with. So make it clear. Is the talent fee inclusive of transportation, accommodation, food? Or is the talent fee separated from the 3 items that I mentioned? That's part of the negotiation. And don't take it personally. Throw everything in. Give them what you think is of value to them, but also ask from them what you think is of value to you. It's better to create a checklist. Having a checklist is your friend. Check it off. Scratch it off the list. Make sure you are working in concert with your bandmates, with your stage manager, with your sound engineer before you take the first step toward the venue. All your equipment are loaded in the truck. I remember one time, me and our sound guy Luigi was actually working on logistics with regard to setting up at the club that we were going to play in. And I told him, can you bring the front of house speakers? I'll bring the drums. And he said, okay. So we were setting up and Luigi comes to me and asks me for the drum microphones. And I just froze because I had no drum microphones. I assumed he was going to bring the drum microphones. I told him I was going to bring the drums. Luigi said, I only brought the speakers because that's all you told me to bring. And it almost ruined our day. But because Luigi had a checklist and Luigi assumed that I needed those drum microphones, even if I didn't mention it to him, he actually brought them. Now, you might go, Coach, what if I'm bringing microphones? Will he still have to bring microphones? It doesn't hurt to have redundancy. Practice redundancy. If you need 24 cables and you can afford 48 cables, bring 48. If you have a mixing desk and there is space for an additional mixing desk, bring 2. If you need a laptop to run tracks, but you have 2 laptops, bring 2. It doesn't hurt to have redundancy. As a drummer, I bring a boatload of sticks and I bring extra heads and an extra pedal just in case I need them. You know, things can go wrong. If you're a guitar player, bring extra strings. If you're a vocalist, make sure your mic is fully charged if it's wireless. If you have batteries, make sure you have new batteries or freshly charged batteries. These are all important. Know these. It's your responsibility. Buying the gear is part of it, but knowing what your gear can do and what your gear requires, that's your job. And yes, that's part of logistics. What we're doing right now is reminding each and every one of us that a good show doesn't just happen. A lot of preparation goes into a good show. And you know what? As I'm sharing all of these with you, I just hope that every time you see a band or a solo act or even a DJ performing on stage with all the lights, all the bells and whistles, I want you to remind yourself that that show that you are witnessing did not happen by chance. Those are rehearsed. Those were anticipated moves. Those were stuff that they had envisioned, that they had created in their heads. And what you are witnessing is the manifestation of hours of preparation. And you know what? The more we prepare, the more we get used to our own checklist, the better it is for us to perform because we're not bogged down by anxiety or nerves. You see, if we do the work and if we prepare for our show, everything will run as best we can. I wouldn't say smoothly because, you know, Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But when things do go wrong, you guys are prepared to actually fix it and do something about it. Because guess what? There are spare stuff in the van because redundancy was your friend. So that's it. Take your gig logistics seriously. Make sure before you sign that contract, things have been agreed upon and things are there. Even the purple M&Ms, make sure they're there. Coffee, water, everything else. Your technical rider, your hospitality rider has to be crystal clear. Even your talent fee and the payment schedule, make sure it is there. What wasn't written was never going to happen anyway. So make sure everything is written. Until then, my name is Paco Arespacochaga. If this is something that you appreciated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell icon because more than half of you watching this aren't actually subscribed. It's free, makes me smile, so please do so. Also, suggestions for topics, put it in the comments below. Until the next vlog, I'll see you.